talked to me a little bit earlier about sort of your strategy behind emoting.
Yeah. I'm not gonna emote all the game like, yeah, I will hunt you down, I will hunt you down. But I think emotes is there for a reason. The perfect time to emote is like turn 8 to 9 in the turns that your opponents are thinking how I can clear the board, how I can set up lethal, how I can do that. In the crucial time, you need to emote him. Like even 2 to 3 seconds, if they haven't spelled you, they get triggered, you get the upper hand there because you get your time and they might lose the mind and, I don't know, do something that they don't want to. I think that's the perfect time to emote.
So if you buy yourself 4 seconds, if you make them stop and squelch you for 4 seconds, hey, that's 4 seconds that you bought. That
yeah, but I think that's good.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
So we see, you know, the insight into Bawse's emote strategy. Not something that's discussed too often in Hearthstone, but definitely something considering.
Yeah, I like it, honestly. I think, like it or not, the emote system is a tool that is in the game and is legal. There is no rule against it. Therefore, if you are a competitive player, your job is to use the game mechanics and the rule set that is presented to you and engineer the best possible situation for yourself to defeat your opponent. If that involves annoying them, then sure, that's perfectly legitimate, because the situation that he's describing there with, you know, you time it at a point where you make them go, oh, why is this jerk emoting me right now? And then they're not thinking about their turn. If you do that, if you get distracted, that's your problem. That's not theirs.
Exactly.
You should be focused.
And there's a squelch option.
There is,
So, you know, there's always that if the players feel they need it. But we are going to get into Game 6. It's going to be DrHippi's Dragon Warrior. 3rd time now versus Bawse's Zoo. So this, again, you know, we were discussing it earlier where the Dragon Warrior feels like a really good lineup here, but this second ghoul that we've mentioned in 2 series now, it feels like a bit of an issue for DrHippi. And also, it's not the fact of not necessarily drawing the second ghoul, but the threat of, or the lack of threat of the ghoul just not being there and Bawse being fully aware because these deck lists are open for the players.
Right. The card that he's probably playing in that slot, if you like, the N'Zoth's First Mate, in this matchup particularly, I have no dispute that N'Zoth's First Mate is great. If you can draw it early, it's a fantastic tool to be able to fight for the board early on, but in so many other matchups, like, I just feel like it's such a low power level card overall in terms of its impact in a game, especially if you don't have it in your hand before turn 3, which is pretty likely. That the second ghoul for me just has a much bigger impact on a lot of games.
Yeah. We see Bawse now getting off to a pretty quick start himself, the Possessed Villager, followed by the Imp Friends. Being able to just go onto the board there, and not really a good response so far from him. He does have the opportunity to coin out a 4-drop next turn, and this is a question he's got to ask himself. Does he want Fairy Dragon now, or does he want to be able to coin out Twilight Guardian guaranteed as a 3/6 taunt?
Yeah, this is a really awkward draw for DrHippi right now because of that reason. The Twilight Guardian will be huge coming down next turn, but he feels like he has to contest the board right now. He's going to get the bad news that Direwolf Alpha is going to absolutely crush that Fairy Dragon. And this game is already... Yeah, look at that. Bawse just waves goodbye to his opponent on turn 3 of the Zoo game.
There we go. This is when he's feeling pretty good, and to be honest, with the second imp coming down there, you know, DrHippi must be terrified now, because if there's any draw, you know, any discard mechanic going to kick in next turn, you see that your wall is cycling for 2 and not even having to pay life or mana. He's just using a spell he would use regardless, or won't be able to use a minion because of the Doom Guard, but even a Librarian coming down.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I just struggle to see a way back into this game. The N'Zoth's First Mate pickup is a big deal. This is probably just about the last turn where it could have been relevant. So he does fight his way back onto the board just a little bit, but already This board is contested by what he sees, plus the addition of one of the most irritating minions in the game in, early board-focused matchups, the Imgang boss. He is so far behind.
And also, just that draw for like a boss. Imgang boss was almost always coming down that turn. Yeah. Almost always. Just draws a 1-drop.
Yeah.
Let's just fill the curve out. Who needs life tap? Just draw Doomguard next turn, it's fine.
That sounds like Zoo 101 to me. Dump your hand, draw a Doomguard. That is how you win some games of Hearthstone.
And now DrHippi does have the Dragon Activator for his Twilight Guardian, which I think is just going to have to be enough. I sort of half considered the Corcron, but you don't really do it. If you trade into the gang boss, then you're only stopping 1 power.
You could Corcron and trade with the weapon into both of the Malkazar's imps, which actually gives you the most efficient trades over 2 turns.
Yeah.
Because if you trade into the Imgang boss, like you said, it's only taking 1 power off the board, and then you leave your Corcron Elite exposed to a 1 damage attack coming back the other way. So I think this is the optimal line from DrHippi, but just not enough. And like a boss, honestly, he could direct this attack in any direction he sees fit in this situation. He's so far ahead.
And when you have that choice, I always like to live the small Clive, to be honest. If there's any direction, I choose face. But, did choose to trade, so be a little bit conservative. And I think the idea for like a boss here is he's just going to say, I'm not going to get too silly. Now, I'm so far ahead. Now I can just live tap going forward. I'll just remove his Corcron and then build on that. But I feel like even if the Corcron went into the Flame Imp, then, the Imp Gang boss is just chilling as a 3-5 anyway, so...
Yep. And I'm sure we'll see the coin being used here, the Twilight Guardian and the Alexstrasza champion coming down here, just trying to reduce damage as much as he can, but he still just hasn't even been able to get back to board parity yet, let alone fight his way up ahead, and he just doesn't have the life total to play with right now. 1 power card from Like a Boss is all it's going to take. 1 Doomguard, 1 Soulfire, that will probably be backbreaking, but that is as close to a complete whiff as Zoo can possibly have.
Yeah, this is the chance DrHippi coming back, but he will need a minion of his own or some kind of card draw, because the Draconite Crusher is not going to be enough, I feel, this turn. And he gets the Ghoul, which only removes 1 power off the board.
That's just not enough, right? He gets to armor alongside it, but I think, the winning line here, the 1% of the time you win this game, it starts with playing a 6/6.
And there's 5 damage now available for Like a Boss, and one of the times you're probably not too fussed about playing the Silverware Golem this turn, just because it's like, yep, I'll just stack the board out and really, really reduce the chances for DrHippi to take this game, as he's now put to 2, and there's just not a lot he can really do about it.
Corcron Elite, so he can take 4 power off the board, or 3 power off the board with the Direwolf and the Voidwalker. He can then Ravaging Ghoul to reduce another 1, or he can Hero Power to gain another 2. Yeah. I'm not seeing it.
No, this is looking pretty rough to the extent where it looks like a Boss has evened it up. I honestly did not see this coming. Did we curse DrHippi by saying, 3 games with Dragon Warrior should be fine?
And I just want to give a quick shout out to the fortitude of a man who is on the brink of elimination in the biggest game of Hearthstone of his life, who still has the guts to wave goodbye to his opponent in turn 3 of a game. That is playing Hearthstone like a Bawse.
Yeah, nice. So we are going to find out how this crazy series is going to end right after this. So don't go